welcome to the Gump Report, baby. We got a Gump Report here. I know you've been waiting for it. I know you've been longing for it. I know you've been hungering for it. Still got sore throat. It's pouring outside in New York right now. Oh my gosh. If you want to know a place that's similar to England during certain times when it's just raining, come to New York right now. It'll make you think of it. If you're a Brit in New York, or at least someone that's a Brit that wants to feel like you're home, go to New York. It's raining like crazy. It's balmy. Anyway, here's a Gump Report. This is about Vince and Kenny McMahon and a little bit of Mandy Rose. Now, I decided not to rush and just jump on to the reporting like everybody else, like Just Alex did, like JD did it, like Salamance and everybody. I decided to wait a little bit to see if there was any new information, because we still don't know exactly everything at that time, what exactly happened about the release of Mandy Rose and the consideration of Vince and Kenny McMahon coming back. Now, I looked about almost 10 sites, the more popular sites, to see if there was any information about Vince and Mandy. Wasn't that much at all. Weirdly enough, there was only a few mentions in a few articles, and that's it. It seems like there's nothing else there at this moment. But we are winding down to the end of the year, so unless something dramatic happens, you're not going to get much. This is what I've learned about. Let's start with Vince first, because Mandy's an interesting situation. Vince, Mr. Kennedy McMahon himself, Mr. I just had a documentary done on me, and I'm considering coming back. Now, did I find any information about him talking about coming back? No, other than one. But it's not about him directly coming back in the sense to do day-to-day work in the back or anything that could be creative. The only thing I found was an article, and I can't remember the person who produced it, talking about him possibly coming back to WrestleMania 39 at the Hall of Fame and no one having a problem with it. Basically, there was a possible rumor that he may come back and wrestle 39 around the Hall of Fame. And I'm not exactly sure if it was to go into the Hall of Fame himself or just to be there. Even though it does kind of talk about it, and I can't remember right now what was exactly said, it's kind of hard to say what exactly we're dealing with here. As I've said since he left, do not underestimate the drama that could be started after his leaving. As positive as everybody is of Triple H being in control creatively and the day-to-day operations of Raw, SmackDown, we don't know what type of problem is going to be coming in the back. We don't. We have no idea. So even though everyone said, well, watch Raw, watch SmackDown, just wait. Triple H is going to get the stuff the way he wants fixed. He's going to be going like this for maybe at least a near year, and then it's going to rise. I never said yes or no to that. I always said yes. JD and Just Alex is right. We just got someone new in creative that normally doesn't do that type of operation for Raw and SmackDown and takes care of all the talent at the same time. He's never done it. He's only done NXT. So we don't know what's going to be produced. And I'm not saying that Raw and SmackDown, or even NXT for that matter, is supposed to hit it out of the park every day. I agree with them. But to actually believe there will not be any type of drama in the back would be absolutely ludicrous. That's bullshit. Anytime a huge change in management happens, there's always some type of controversy. And also, it's going to cover Mandy Rose about her in a minute. But there was no way something was going to happen, that Triple H was going to have an issue, or Vince might do something, even though they said that now there are two CEOs, his daughter and Nick. There is no way there wouldn't be some type of controversy or some type of rumor. And guess what? All of a sudden, after the documentary, The 9 Lives of Vince and Kenny McMahon came out, we have the hearings that he wants to come back. What capacity is still not known. But the article I did see roughly talked about if he came back at Hall of Fame before WrestleMania 39, guess what? There wouldn't be a problem with it. Yes, there would be. So it's hard to say what is going to happen in the next couple of months. This is my speculation. At this time, they're not talking about it at all. Probably when the news cycle starts up again after January 1st, we'll maybe hear more details, unless this next week we will get some type of bombshell that will come out and say Vince is coming back. And I did also see an article that roughly talked about Teddy Long, who pretty much said he doesn't understand why Vince even left his position. Now, if anybody's seen that article, look, Teddy has been in the business a very long time, over 30 years, at least between 20 to 30 years easily. He did work with Harlem Heat, so he's been around for easily 30 years or near 30. Guys, there's no way that Teddy, who was literally the figurehead of SmackDown back in the day and always doing the tag team match, 4-way tag team match, 5-way tag team match, 10-man tag, 10-man elimination tag. There's no way he won't say that Vince should have not left. He made his back off. He made himself off the back of Vince. I'm sorry. And I love Teddy. If you've never seen Table for Three, when you see Teddy Long with JBL and the Ron Simmons, damn. Oh. When you have sore throat, don't do that. But you could tell those three guys, no matter if you think JBL's a dick, he legitimately loves Teddy Long, and he really loves Ron Simmons like a big brother. He loves and adores the guy. Those two are family for as long as they live. But there is no way that Teddy did not make himself off the back of Vince. He just did. So he's going to say that. So as it stands right now, this is my speculation. There is no proof behind this. This is my speculation. Speculation is key here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your speculation. Will we get something of Vince next year? Yes. Do I believe anything's going to happen this year? No. Not now. Unless something big comes out, you're not going to hear anything about Vince other than the 9 lives of Vince and Kenny McMahon when they did the documentary. That's already happened. The speculation of him wanting to come back has already happened. I just don't see anything this weekend, and going to the next weekend, excuse me, going into the next weekend of 2023. I just don't see it. What I do believe is by Royal Rumble, we will hear something. Because there is no way they're not going to start ramping up for WrestleMania. They got to. When it comes to Triple H, he's got to make this WrestleMania mean something. This will be his first WrestleMania that he will directly be in control of. So as it stands, he's going to do everything he can to make Royal Rumble and any pay-per-views that normally will be shown, counting on whatever they keep, mean relevancy. And sooner or later, Vince will be mentioned sooner or later. It's going to happen. Whether it be speculation that he wants to come to the Hall of Fame or he will go into the Hall of Fame himself. Because let's be honest, over the decades, because everyone keeps saying the old man can't stand being mentioned during a whole Hall of Fame ceremony. He hates it. What happened when he goes in himself? We already know that Vince himself is a character. He has been the McMahon, the real Red Devil of WWE, one of the most well-built characters in wrestling history. Whether he did it purposely or just, let's just say it all naturally came together, organically. It don't matter. He's one of the most famous heels in history. The most famous heel that has ever been known. A promoter becoming a true heel that was never a wrestler. He's it. So eventually he has to be put into the Hall of Fame either when he's alive like he is now or when he passes away and his daughter along with his son and all his grandkids and great-grandkids, if they're old enough by that time, counting on whenever Vince passes, they'll do it then. But what happened if he goes this year? Coming. He could. He will be, 77 years old or 78? I can't remember how old Vince is at this point. But easily, he could go in. The question is, would he go in? That's the speculation I give to you guys. Do you believe after everything Vince has done, and I know there's a lot of shit he did, particularly what happened with Jimmy Superfly Snuka, when he killed that woman, where it seems like everything got brushed under the rug, that somehow maybe Vince got him off, where all the allegations of sexual misconduct, using money from the company and the corporation to do whatever the hell he wanted, and burying people that should never been. Does he deserve to go in? No matter how much you hate Vince, he's going to go in, whether you like it or not. Me personally, I see the character Vince and the guy Vince. Let's make this clear. There are two separate entities here. Like the one who should never be named, who I did my first video off the back of, Chris Benoit. There is the wrestler who is a legend in the business, even though nobody ever wants to talk about him again, and the man who did what he did. There is a difference. Vince, as a character, is the most memorable character that any current wrestling fan and any old wrestling fan will always recognize more than Hogan, more than Stone Cold, more than The Rock, more than John Cena, more than Randy Macho Man Savage, more than Jesse the Body Ventura, Shawn Michaels. It's always going to be Vince. He will go in. That's what I think will eventually happen this coming year. But it's still just my belief and my speculation. I want to say that clearly. I don't know if anyone else has said it. They probably already have. And they took a long way to say it like I just did. But essentially, if he does show up like this article said at WrestleMania 39 with nobody have a problem with it, it could be because they want to put him in. Now, mind you, what he does after that, if he is going in, that's the speculation that everyone's going to buzz about. If it's announced during January, February, going into March, if he is one of the first to be put in induction, that's a possibility. We got a question, will he actually do anything? Will he be an on-screen character only? Remember, if he doesn't have any power, he can still be an on-screen character, even at 78 or 77 years old. I'm just saying. Now, here is the feature of my Gump report. Mandy Rose. Guys, there is almost nothing on Mandy except she got released and her fan time talking about that website. There is only one basic article I found that generally talks about the person who is an agent to her that roughly says since she has been released, and let me crank this back. Let's make this clear what happened. It seems simply that Mandy Rose has a fan time account. That's fan time. I've never actually seen fan time, so I don't know what the website is like. But essentially, she had a premium account there. And she's showing, and she's showing, and she's showing. If you guys have noticed, over the year that I've been talking, didn't I tell you that girl was showing a lot? She was showing her ladies area, the wrong type of pants, where you can see her ladies area completely. I've said this. And sometimes I said maybe it's a little too much because you're trying to make sure she's being respected as a wrestler. She does go a little far. But it kind of makes sense what I was saying. Because she had a premium account. That if you wanted to watch anything, you got to pay $25 a month. That is what the premium was. And supposing, this is what I've understood from the only article I could find. I went to 10 sites that are popular for wrestling and also talked about sports and basic media. I only found one general article and one somewhat older article talking about her dropping the title to Roxanne Perez. But this article talks generally about that Mandy Rose, when she was released, at this time could become a millionaire well before the end of the year. Because she was working not only WWE, she's also doing her fan time. And at $25 a month, the people were giving her almost $200K or over $200K. So she was already making more money than she was getting on NXT. But now, because she is no longer with WWE, she's now increased that. Guess how much it is? It went from $25 a month, from what the article said, to now $40 a month. slightly more than half at $40. Oh, well, not slightly. She's still like under 50, slightly under half. But now she's gone from 25 to 40, and supposing this last few weeks or a few days, she's already accumulated $500,000. Now, that's generally what the statement was on that article. Since she's been gone for the last week or so, she's accumulated $500,000, supposedly. Now, that's not just from the subscription. That's about someone donating to her while they're in the premium account and watching her show her tits, her ass, and everything else in between, and maybe jerking off herself. That's $500,000 within a week or so, if it's even near there. Guys, in less than a few days to a week, this girl has made more than what she normally makes in a couple of months. And understand, and this is also another article where you wonder, would she actually go there? And it was stated, and it was actually a smart move on Impact Wrestling and Deonna Purrazzo, because one other article I saw that was not related to Mandy or WWE was about Deonna Purrazzo saying, hey Mandy, I want to wrestle you. Why don't you come to Impact Wrestling? You're fried here. Now, if I know some of the people watch this, they're going to say, yes, we get someone great. She's damn good, and we'll have something for Impact Wrestling. Guys, let me put it to you in this respect. At this point with Impact Wrestling, they do not have the cash at all to bring in a Mandy Rose. She would be doing this for charity. She would be bringing in people for charity for Impact Wrestling. Let's be honest. I'm sorry. No matter if Anthem is a billion-dollar company, they're not throwing billions or millions of dollars at Impact Wrestling. If they were, Impact would be in a better position they would be right now. And they're not. Anthem is not propping up Impact Wrestling. They may own them, but Impact still is its own entity and is making whatever money it can on a network that's dead for them. They're dead in that network. They can't even break 150K. If they're lucky, maybe 200. When was the last time you saw them break 200K? Almost 2 years ago. It is very rare for them to even go beyond 100. They at one point went down to 38,000. 38,000 people watching on Access TV. And you can't really count the app or YouTube. People still go by the old model of, if you're on a freaking network, you gotta mean something on that network. Seeing that, and I say this right now, if anyone says you don't get it, oh yes I do. Since the pandemic is generally done in the United States, streaming has gone from like this for Netflix, Hulu, when it comes to Disney Plus and everything, has gone, it's dropped. People are actually going back to regular old style legacy networks, like going on cable, doing satellite, because pretty much they don't want to look at what's on streaming all the time now. They're actually sick of it. So streaming, look at Netflix. They're at the point of almost going to bankruptcy. Disney Plus has pumped huge amounts of money into their streaming service, and they're not making as much money from those movies, those TV shows. They should be like this, and they're like this. So don't think that the YouTube app or YouTube TV or Plus or the Insider, counting on, because they are going to go on YouTube TV. I believe that's what it's going to be for Impact Wrestling. And even having now a new share in I can't remember the name of the network that's going to be international for them. They actually announced it. I think it was called Rios, I believe. I don't remember the name of it. But even with that, Impact does not have the reach they want in America. This is what many people don't want to hear. That they may have the most largest reach in Europe, Asia, maybe even India and China. Let's say they even had some reach in China. If they were like that, they wouldn't need to worry about America. But if that's true, why do we have such bad quality? If you saw my video of Impact that I just released yesterday, they still can't get the damn camera work right. They still got bad storylines. They're still in tiny venues. And still they're using canned pops of women that was actually, if you had watched like I did on Access TV, I did see it on Access TV. They showed the debut of Hulk Hogan with the same freaking woman's voice and other women's voices that sounded exactly the damn same. That's over a decade old. Excuse me. So you cannot tell me they're doing great, because they're not. So if Mandy goes to Impact Wrestling, it's charity. Honestly. Because at this point, her fan time is going to make more money than what probably Impact can actually pay them over in a year. Unless they're going to throw a ridiculous big amount at her and hurt the other wrestlers who come in after her. Because they can do that. Because they've done that when it came to Eric Bischoff, when it came to Hulk Hogan, when it came to Kevin Nash. Every one of those guys got a huge lion's share of money. And what happened to the wrestlers that either were already there and the ones who are trying to get in? They got bump kiss. So they could do that, but they'll hurt their bottom line eventually when she leaves. Because remember, Impact Wrestling do not keep their wrestlers long. How long did they keep them? Maybe a month or two just doing tapings. They're only paid for the tapings. And maybe they'll have a few that might stay a year. Maybe. Look what happened to Honor No More. Everyone there was there for almost practically a year. The storyline sucked in most cases. You had a full faction that never claimed the tag titles very long, that never got the X Division, they didn't get the world title, they got nothing. It was a freaking waste. And now we got Eddie Edwards dealing with Jonathan Gresham, which is going to be interesting. But that's it. What happened to her? What happened to PCO? Where we thought he was going to be something. He isn't. He's not even there. And if he is there, where is he? Is he on BTI when he shouldn't be? He should be on the main roster. He should be with DK or something. Or did they have, just like what happened, kind of like with Miro, they got nothing for her or him or anyone there to do. So, if Mandy went to Impact, it would be a charity case for Impact Wrestling. Now, mind you, she might do it. If she went to Impact, after what has happened now, because it is already being stated on multiple sites that wherever they do mention Mandy, it's connected to Triple H as the first fumble that he's caused. They believe this is the first time Triple H has made a stupidly idiotic mistake, because it is a possibility from the article that I saw about Mandy that she wasn't given the option to remove the premium account or warned to remove it, that she supposedly was just released because they found out about it. Now, mind you, I don't know if that's true. There had been some speculation that they did know, they did warn her, but she didn't want to get rid of it. Now, either one, they never gave her a chance to get rid of it and she's gone, or two, they did give her time, she said no, and they got rid of her. No, it doesn't matter. When it comes down to it, 100%, it is a black mark on Triple H. I'm sorry, it is. Because a lot of people were expecting her to be big on the main roster. She has been built so well. You can say a lot about Vince. I'm sorry. We know the way he's been booking for a decade, easily plus. But when it comes to certain people, you could say he's done a decent job. And Mandy Rose was one of them. While Triple H was away, stripped of his ability to control NXT next to his heart problem. He was already probably stripped before then. When it comes down to it, when Vince saw Mandy, he made her like that. And Mandy took it and ran with it. For over a year, she has proven that she's a valued wrestler anywhere she goes. That she knew how to make her craft look good. That she literally had the sex appeal. She had the 5 tools. She had the look. Woman is damn gorgeous. She has the charisma. Hell yeah, she does. She's got charisma out her ass. Now people get to see that ass. And everything else can handle. But you get my point. She's got the charisma. She's got the mic skills. Can it be so-so sometimes? Yes. Like most wrestlers. But she went from here easily up to here, which is near top tier quality. Not top tier, but easily near top tier. There's no problem with her when it comes to her mic skills. In-ring work. That woman busted her butt for a year and actually improved it. Is she as great as the greatest wrestlers out there? No. But she was here. She is here easily. This is bare minimum. This is average. She's here. This is the best. She's easily well above average. She may not be the best wrestler there is, but she easily can carry a match and make it work. And the final thing that makes a 5 tool is if you can be a ring general who can tell a story. Psychology. Now, this is where it gets a little ambivalent, where sometimes she can do very well. She can. She can lead it, but sometimes she fumbles. Now, that happens to all wrestlers. It does happen. But in general, she hits it more than she fumbles. So it's like 60-40. That's what I would say. 60% of the time, she can tell a really good story. 40% is questionable to messy. But that's more than most people can get. So when it comes to Mandy, did Triple H make a mistake? Yes. Do I believe he had no choice counting on what we're really dealing with? Either she refused to let go of a fan time account, or did they release her well before she even had a chance to get rid of it? It doesn't matter. She could have been suspended until either she got rid of the account, or just to teach her a lesson before you were thrown onto the main roster. Take her out for a couple of months, have her do nothing, and then bring her back. That is what they could have done. They could have suspended her for 3-4 months. Say, you're not getting pay. You're not released from us. You're not getting pay. This is your penance for what you did. That would be if she refused to get rid of the account. Or, until you get rid of the account, you're suspended. No pay. You can't work anywhere. That's what you got. And they could have done that. So that's my point of view on it. And this is the end of my Gump report. Please give me a comment below. I am going to work on my best matches of the 2022. Hope you like it. I'm going to probably film it right after this. Actually, I'm going to film it after this. I might not release it after my Gump report. I may do it next week. So you have something. Peace.